yeah, no, because I ran off to South America when I was in my teens, late teens. So, anyways, yeah, I guess that's all I've got is mind and observation, unless I was wanting to throw in some ESP, but
Right, right.
don't think
Uh,
so.
so if you don't, then I guess we're just gonna roll mind and observation.
One success.
One success. All right. Uh, you sort of spend some time in town, observing people, maybe even talking to them, and you get the general feel that nothing really seems to be amiss. Everyone's happy and doesn't seem to really be aware that anything's happening or anything like that. But you do catch something weird. You remember young little Claudia's friend, the one you talked to, where you discovered that she probably got lost in the woods. You see him returning from school, and when you wave to him, he seems very confused and continues on his way without approaching you or looking at you further.
Well, that was rude. I mean, even if he didn't know me, he would still wave back. It's just good manners. There's no excusing that.
But you can
Hopefully it
also see him
does.
walking along with young Claudia as well.
I mean, yeah, I mean, this. I remember who you're talking about, the kid that I hypnotized to call us the moment he saw Claudia again. By the way, he didn't call us. That's an oversight on your part, Griff.
Or is it?
I'm just. Anyway, I don't think that's noteworthy.
I think we actually got interrupted by the mind trip, so maybe he called during the week you were gone.
Right. Well, I mean, again, I just don't see that it's noteworthy. He didn't wave
Yeah.
back to me, and he looked confused. Eh.
Okay.
People are forgetting people. I already know this. It's not surprising that some kid that I met once doesn't remember me.
Right. So it seems, a little weird, but it doesn't bother you very much. And throughout the rest of the day, nothing really seems very strange to you. When evening hits, a little bit of light mist rolls in, and towards the edge of town, sort of towards the gas station, towards the road you came in on, even, you actually see a few orange flowers.
It's gonna be the real panic moment where I'm walking down the road and I see myself riding past on a bicycle. Younger me than older me.
We're not doing time travel just yet.
No, that's mouth of madness.
Ah.
I'm gonna die on this road. I mean,
All right.
sure, that's the thing I notice. I mean, nothing immediately I can react to on this. I'm going to pluck the flowers.
Right, right. So you just sort of keep track of it then, right?
Right.
So when we return to this, you can go ahead and write down an extra D8 for you have observed the town. And if that comes up as a thing, you can go ahead and roll it as an assist die. So Dante will spend most of the day observing. I believe the place to go to next here would be James Green then.
Just as a quick
Ooh,
note, of course, that I've made a few phone calls during the day as well.
yes, of course you have. You've set up to do a few things. And you can pop at any time. So,
Yeah.
James, let's go ahead and roll up to you. You have arrived at the Walls Glasgow over on Lakeside. Let's see, where is my description? Uh, Walls Glasgow is a very unimaginative square factory. It doesn't have huge smokestacks like a refinery, and instead has a very large angled glass ceiling to show off and shine light directly into the eyes of people passing by on the street. There's a chain link gate for the entrance, but nobody really watching it while it hangs open.
Uh-huh.
But you plan to head inside, correct?
Yeah.
All right, you head inside, and within the factory itself, you see a large number of kilns and molten glass being passed around from person to person as a variety of glass objects are being made. Mostly it looks like perfume bottles just from a glance. But one of the workers will sort of see you stumbling in, and he'll walk up to harass you a little bit. It's like, hey, 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 hey,
Show him my note.
huh? And he'll take a look at it. He'll he'll nod, and he'll sort of scratch his little goat beard and go, oh, I see, he sent you. Oh well, we don't need you. You can go. We called in a real expert.
Oh, you did.
That's right. We got Lloyd the Seer.
Lloyd the Seer.
He's a spiritualist extraordinaire. Hadn't had in the paper.
Oh,
Speaker
I've
to the
heard of.
dead and mouthpiece
Oh,
for
I've
the
heard of.
unliving.
Oh, I've heard of him. All right. I wanted to meet him myself. Could you? Is he here
You,
right now?
yeah. He's over there, and he like points over to one side of this little factory where a number of workers are actually all surrounding a very fancy looking wolf.
I go over.
All right, you go over and you see this small wolf standing up on top of a box, and he is doing up a little bit of a show. Let me
Uh,
see what I have here for him. Do. Okay, yeah, he's waving his hands in the air. He has one hand on his head, and he's projecting across to the rest of the crew. It's like, yes, their names. I know them. I can hear their voices. Uh, Dennis. Yes, of course. And Douglas. I can hear their voices, their spirits from the beyond. And everyone gasps, like, what? No, they're dead? Yes, passed away. Yes, these must have been the spirits that you saw below. He says as he dramatically points to like a small set of concrete stairs. Do you do anything, or do you just kind of like join him and like enjoy the experience? What you gonna do?
sorry about that. My mom entered for a minute.
Oh, okay. Did you get everything at the very least?
I got to the part where she said put on a show.
Uh, right. So he's putting on a show, and he has his hand up on his head. He's waving it around, and he's saying like, "Dennis and Douglas, they're dead, and their spirits. Oh, they have not moved on." And everyone is very surprised to hear this, and are surprised that they're dead. No, I thought they were just missing. Uh, do you continue to listen, or just or interrupt, or what do you want to do? What's your plan here?
How are you? I call. How are you sure they're dead?
Because I can hear their voices in the wind. I can hear their very spirits rattle my bones. For I am the speaker of the dead and the mouthpiece for the unliving. For I am Lloyd the Seer.
Uh. Uh-huh. And what are they saying right now?
They are saying there is at least one spoil sport in the crowd, but no. No, what they are saying is that you should not head into this basement, or you might suffer a terrible fate. And he shakes his head.
Well, I'm. Well then. Well then, I'm going in there.
Oh, you are you? Oh, look at this brave, poor, unfortunate soul. Yes, yes, and what would your name be? You poor, poor young lad.
James Green.
James Green. James, why? Why must you venture in? Uh, were they your friends? Do you miss them? Do you want to hear what they have to say?
Unless they know, unless they know their locker combination. No thanks.
There is only danger and terror down below. You should not head down there. No, no, not at all. Not without proper protection, he says as he pulls out a glass bottle from his coat. Yes, with this holy water, he will be able to fend off the ghosts, fend off their fearsome spirits, and keep his soul safe. And for just a few dollars, you too can have some. And he goes ahead and pulls out a few extra bottles into his hand. And the crowd is gobbling it up.
And I roll my eyes, and it's like, and I go to the nearest worker. Do you have any protection equipment? I want to go down there.
I think there's like a hard hat. The tool shed is actually just downstairs, honestly. Kind of leads into the rest of the maintenance tunnels for the water. Here, oh, I got I got a lantern somewhere around here. Uh, and he'll sort of like wander off trying to look for a light or something, and then return and just shake his head a little bit. It's like couldn't find one. But I mean, hard hats should just be like downstairs on the right. You should be fine.
Oh, all right. So, so I go downstairs.
All right, you go downstairs. Just down this concrete stairwell is a small room with metal shelves set up along the wall. A quick peek onto them shows that they have a variety of tools in large quantities for whatever maintenance work might be required. There's a boiler that sits in the corner, and it's not even running. It's just the middle of the summer.
I try to find anything that might pertain.
Would you like to roll observation?
Observation mind.
Yeah, mind observation.
Ignore the extra D8.
Okay, that's fine. You are still a detective, and you have good eyesight, and you notice very quickly that there's actually behind one of the metal shelves is a doorway, blocked off and hidden. Fortunately, the shelf is on wheels and easy to move, but it looks like someone took the time to put this directly in the way. Uh, was there anything else you were looking for in the tool room?
This secret passage might actually. Well, they said there was a hard hat down here. I might go that before going into this.
Okay. You managed to find the hard hats with your observation check here. You go ahead, put one on, and you're good. What do you want to do with it?
As I said, go inside.
Okay, the door is actually locked right now. Next to it, you can see a little sign saying maintenance. Do you have a way to unlock a door?
Nope. No.
All right, then. So, what do you plan to do?
Go back upstairs.
All right. You return back upstairs, and the wolf is still up on his soapbox, and he gasps as he sees you returned. He returns, and in one piece, thanks to the protection of our Lord and Savior, he says as he flashes the water bottle up.
Uh, actually, I discovered something interesting.
What'd you see? What'd you see?
A doorway being blocked. A doorway was blocked. A doorway is being hidden and blocked. It was called maintenance. I'm looking for the key.
Oh yeah, maintenance. Oh, I got the key somewhere here. Hey, Ralph, Ralph. And someone who looks slightly less like a worker and slightly more like a manager, who's been a part of this crowd the whole time and not dispersing it, is dragged forward and go, wait a second, why do you want to go in the maintenance tunnel anyway?
Hmm. I have my suspicion.
Suspicion, huh? And he crosses his arms a little bit at you. Suspicions isn't a good reason to go poking around maintenance tunnels. It's not safe, he says as he reaches over and lightly taps your hard hat.
And I whispered to him, that might be where your mistreating workers are.
Uh, hmm. How do you exactly plan to convince them with that? What can we do to make this a roll?
Nick,
So he's looking at you and going so you're gonna do it for free? He sort of whispers back to you.
oh, for for that charlatan, yeah.
And you won't tell the cops if you see anything down there, right?
Wait a minute.
Well, he's saying they're dead. Can't have dead bodies show up at a factory. It's terrible news.
I get a
No, we had to
feeling.
preserve the image of this place, whatever happened down there.
Fine, fine.
Good, good. That's the spirit. He says he gives you a pat. And he will go ahead and let you have the key. Now you better bring it back.
I promise. And I go back downstairs and use the key and turn.
All right. So you open up the key, and you are now into the maintenance hallways, which are unlit. In this narrow corridor, you can actually hear the dripping of pipes. It branches and seems almost a bit maze-like, but you can see a number of pipes run up into the ceiling. It's dark and it's unlit, and even though there are light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, they don't seem like they're on. And with a switch nearby, they don't turn on.
I go try to find a flashlight back.
Okay, so we still have 2 successes off of observation. That's enough for you to actually find a flashlight in the tool room. Wouldn't you know it, they actually prepared for this. Uh, so you are going to go ahead and wander around. What do you have to look around dark, creepy hallways? How do you know where you're going down here?
Uh, Observation?
All right. Observation's still a good choice and still basically what you're using. So go ahead and give me mind observation to try to not get lost down here. That is another 2 successes. Oh, your species is only D4? I almost didn't notice that. Okay. You are the worst deer ever, but do you come across a small intersection. This section of hallway sort of opens up into a large T intersection as you're searching around. And from here, you can see it's full of some long wooden crates. And in a corner, you can actually see a red door that says sewers on it. Uh, Shining your flashlight without moving around, you can see on the floor there's actually a bit of discoloration. It could be blood. But you also, since you rolled 2 successes, you see that there's actually something very odd. There is a small box next to where the hallway opens up. It's sort of a small metal box, maybe about 2 inches wide. Uh, and it has a little bit of a glint of light to it. It looks like there's a lens on it. And across from it, on the other side of the door frame, you can see another one of these things. When you put your hand close to it, you can feel a small amount of warmth, and you can also see that there's some exposed wires leading up into it from along the wall.
I follow the wires.
Do you actually step into the large intersection?
I throw a rock to show.
All right, you throw a rock out into the center of the room, and nothing at all happens. But I would like you to actually roll me mind academics. And you can have your career added to this too because you are an investigator of some type. You may have heard about this stuff. Well, that's just the one. You're not quite sure what this thing is. So, what do you do?
Sure. Hmm.
You do what now?
I go into the intersection.
Okay. With no extra precautions, you step into the intersection. I would like you to roll me some mind, will, and questioning real quick, if you don't mind. Oh, wow. You got a 10 in there. Very, very interesting. When you step into the intersection, almost even a little boldly, you can hear a small little tick behind you from the box. It distracts you just long enough that that when you turn around, you see a large pane of glass actually swinging in your direction from the ceiling, attached to some sort of mechanism. And uh, when it comes down at a 90-degree angle and is flat with you, it actually starts flashing light. You turned away to look at the small little box behind you, so you avoid being blinded by it. And then slowly it raises itself back up. Most interesting thing is that you swear that what was on it was some sort of picture of a sheet ghost. Just a general spooky sort of white phantasm sort of thing before it pulls itself back up.
And I'm just going, oh, so that's what scared them.
So, what would you like to investigate?
The mechanism.
All right. You go ahead, check it out, and you see it's actually connected from some exposed wires. It looks like there might have actually been a light bulb here at some point, but someone has torn that out and is taken the wires and connected it to the box over at the door and this strange little mechanism. This sheet of glass is actually a little bit more complicated than it looked at the first place. There's some sort of strange metal side to it. And in the corner from where the flashing light came from, that was reflected off of this glass, uh, the projector seems very strange. It's about the same size as a ordinary movie projector, but it doesn't have a reel. Instead, it has a bunch of dials and appears to have a microphone attached to it. The same type that you might see at a radio station.
I speak to it. Hello, hello.
You speak into it, and nothing happens.
Must be the disconnected wire.
Right. So, with your previous observation and the run of the place now, you check out the blood that was on the floor, and when you get closer, it is in fact very clearly blood. It pools down towards the center, in the center of the room, and then ends up dripping towards a side of the room where there's a suspicious lack of crates. Uh, Down on the ground, you can actually see where the dust has been disturbed, and from that corner, the dust trails over to the door that leads to the sewers.
I look into it.
You try to open the door to the sewers, but it too seems locked.
Is there anything else I can look?
What sort of thing are you trying to look for here? There are the crates that are here.
The crates. What are these crates for?
Hard to say. They're about 2 meters long, maybe about a meter wide, and when you try to pry one open, it appears like it's empty. There's like a little bit of paper bedding at the bottom of it, but that's about it.
And what else is there to investigate? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time picturing this place.
That would be it. You had the small device by the door, the projector, the strange device attached to the ceiling, the blood in the center of the room leading out towards the sewers, and the strange boxes.
Hmm. I'd like to look more into the meat. Is there any place else in the maintenance totals I can?
From your powers of observation from earlier and your wandering arounds, you're fairly certain you've probably covered the majority of it here and you haven't missed anything.
Did that means the only way I can go in is through the sewer, and I don't. I guess I could just find my way back.
Indeed you can, and you do not have a problem with that. Uh, and you return upstairs. By this time, the wolf has moved on to trying to cold read the other people around him, and he is fishing for letters as he speaks. Yes, someone who begins with an N.
And I know this all too well.
Exactly. You identified that trick very, very immediately. The floor manager sort of looks over at you as you return, and it looks like he's waiting very expectantly for the key.
Uh, you have another key
Another one? I already gave you one.
for the sewers.
Uh, yeah, I do. What'd you find down there?
I whisper, blood.
He will sort of nod conspiratorially and say, "I'll go down with you."
Thanks.
Okay. So the two of you head downstairs and guide him through the maintenance tunnels over to the sewer door.
And
He takes a look at the blood on the
push from the
floor.
box, like,
What's up with these? And he kind of like gives them like a little kick with his foot. These aren't the usual box we ship stuff out in.
looks It showed a sheet of a ghost. I think this is what scared the workers earlier.
Oh, right. As you say that, uh, he's stepping into the area right now. Uh, and you stop him and have him walk more carefully in so as not to trigger it again. Wait a second, what's this madness here? Someone strip out all these lights? And is that why the whole hallway's dark? I thought we just didn't replace the bulbs. This is gonna be a pain. He left this junk down here too. He says he looks over at the projector. Alright. Alright, I think I see what's going down here. The workers have been slacking off and watching movies down here.
Ugh. Yeah, James just does a face palm.
What?
No, what I found this device. I think it, I think it projected ghostly images and haunting screams. This is obviously to scare people. Now I'm not sure who did it or why, but that's my theory here. Now let's go to the sewer.
Alright. And he'll take out his key ring and he'll go ahead and open up the sewer door, which of course leads into the main sewers of the city. It's dark, it smells bad, and you don't see anything immediately out here.
I'm still gonna look.
Okay, how far are you going to venture out into this?
As far as as far as the horizon.
Alright then. So you kind of do a bit of a canvas of the place. And you actually find a crowbar down on the ground underneath a manhole.
I pick it up.
You pick it up, and well, what do you know? It's a crowbar. It's metal. It's a little heavy.
I think this might come of use later.
All right, you go ahead and hold on to it for right now. And the work the floor manager has not necessarily accompanied you deeper into the sewers. He has stayed behind at his door.
I'm looking around, looking.
There doesn't seem to be a whole lot else down here. It is dark and dingy. And it goes on for quite a long while.
Was the basement the only part of the facility? Was there anything else?
That's the only part anyone has been focusing on, yes.
I'd like to focus on the other stuff as well.
Where do you want to go and what do you want to do? All is in your court.
The rest of the basement. I've been only exploring the basement till so far.
No, the basement doesn't serve much more purpose other than the maintenance pipes that bring water upstairs for part of the glass making process. And of course, the tool shed.
Uh,
The floor manager will kind of tap his foot, and his skunk tail will sort of wave slowly as he waits for you. So where'd they go then?
wait, the blood. I gotta follow the blood.
The blood stops in the corner, and the only thing that indicated that the door was opened was dust being disturbed.
It doesn't make sense. Where did they go?
Well, that's what I want to know.
I look up. I look everywhere on the ceilings. Just try to look for any secret passageway.
Out in the sewers where you found the crowbar, there was a manhole.
Manhole. I opened the manhole.
It is up on the ceiling, and there isn't necessarily a ladder.
Hmm.
Can you climb up there?
Hmm. I'll try.
All right, give me some strength athletics. You're a deer, so I don't think you inherently have climbing. If only we had some sort of tree-bound arboreal species that was good at climbing.
Or someone with wings.
Exactly. That's one success. That is good enough to get a grip on the loose stone bricks that make up the sewers here and get up to the top. You push your crowbar down underneath the manhole and pop it off. And you come out in an empty lot.
Do I see anything in this lot?
Mostly a bunch of dirt and some tire tracks.
Hmm. 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 I'd like to investigate.
Okay, what are you going to investigate and how?
Uh, the well, not the tire tracks. I'm not any car expert. Maybe something left over. Maybe some clues.
Hmm.
Look, I'm desperate. Okay.
I know. I'm just trying to think, like, well, what would be left behind here, if anything, and can you even find it? If you're just going to go ahead and scavenge the area, though, it would clearly be another mind observation check. You're getting a lot of use out of your eyes today. All right. So we got ourselves 2 successes here. You're looking for any sort of hint. Hmm. You will find a small empty pack of matches.
I look at the matches.
It's a plain white book, and it's empty. Uh, and on the front is just some simple black lettering to a small little pub. I don't have a immediate name for that, but it's some sort of local name.
Hmm. 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 I go back to the manager saying, "I think I have a lead. I'll be right back."
What? Come down here. But wait, give me back those keys if you're leaving.
I throw them down.
You can hear them sploosh, and you can hear him curse.
So I go to the pub.
All right. That pub is up in North Lake. So I'm gonna go ahead and move you out there. And let me see. So to be clear, we have Dante spending his day outside, the woman in black writing up for tonight. Uh Zechariah, you had some interaction with people. Was there anything else you were planning to do until tonight?
Um, shoot. Probably pretty late in the it's getting pretty late in the day, right?
Yeah, right now for you it's between noon and afternoon.
Oh, well, that's not too late.
Yeah, you have
I
plenty of
would
time to
I would
burn
like
before
to
dark.
go I would like to go possibly speak to this Nicholas East fellow who's researching this odd fungus that sounds like what I might have possibly seen in my dreams.
Okay. You need to find him. So what do you have to find him? Do you have
Uh
questioning?
I am not sure if I do have questioning. I actually do have a little bit of questioning. I think oh no, I just have my mind dice for questioning. I have observation. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. Is
Hmm.
it's like
Okay.
he, it's like, is he somebody I would have interacted with previously?
Uh, yes, he is your professor. So I'll give you a D8 assist bonus, and you can
Okay,
also roll mind on top of that, and see
okay,
if you can kind of get to the bottom of where he might be hanging out.
so that'd be 2d8 here, I guess.
Let's give it a go.
I got one success.
One success. Well, it turns out he does have a syllabus, and it does have listed office hours. But of course, when you go to that office, it is closed. Or rather, I'm sorry, let's not go with closed. He is not there. There are other graduate students there, though.
All right. I guess Zach's going to try and get the attention of one of the graduate students and be like, "Hey, nothing super urgent, but if Professor East is available, could you let him know that I would like to speak with him at his earliest available convenience?"
I think it's actually adjunct professor, isn't it, for one of your graduates? And one of the other ones just kind of like pipes up and starts a conversation about it. But then he looks back at you, goes, East, East. I don't know. I don't usually end up seeing him around much. I don't think the professor actually puts him to much use. I think he's
Huh.
got a place somewhere nearby, though.
It's like, well, if you're willing to share his address with me, I would very much like to
Uh,
speak with him.
that's the thing. I don't really know where he lives.
Do you
I
have
think it's one of the
any?
nearby neighborhoods. He doesn't live on campus, but he's always here on time.
It's like, do you have any possible idea where I might be able to find him?
Oh, well, I guess you could canvass the neighborhood.
Oof. Well, that's going to be a bit of a chore, but if that's what I have to do to track this guy down, I guess I don't have a choice.
Well, I mean, if that fails, you could always go see him during office hours. He
Yeah,
says, completely unaware.
it's like these are his office hours. He's not here.
Ah, and he just sort of like sighs and puts his hand up to his face. God damn it, East. So, what do you intend to do?
Shoot.
You do have classes with him on another day, but just not today.
Yeah, it's like I'm not sure if it's urgent enough that I need to speak with him right this minute. It might be better off just to wait and see if I encounter him on campus later.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. It's like cuz I don't really have anything in questioning. Now here's something. Like, is there anything in his office that might indicate where he might be hanging out? Like, can I use an observation to like just take a quick glance around his office?
Uh, sure, actually. You will
Uh,
actually notice pretty quickly he has sort of like a designated desk in this little side office.
mm-hmm.
And it's very sparse, and it doesn't look like he leaves anything here.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one thing in particular there, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a photo of himself with his car.
Okay. Well, I'll take his car model. I'll take his car model to memory here. If I can find his car, I can probably find him. But that's still not leaving me with a good clue as to where exactly to start looking. Hmm. Said he lives in the nearby neighborhood.
Yes, that's right.
All right. Well, I guess I'll take to wandering the streets here, just casually glancing like at houses and lots, see if maybe I can get lucky and spot his car.
All
That
right.
would be.
So you're going on a long walk to canvass an area.
Hmm.
I would say body observation for this.
Body observation.
Yes, this is to see if you get tired before you get bored.
Okay, let's see. So uncheck that. Give me one moment here. Didn't roll there. Oh, hey, 3 successes.
Turns out you take your first left and you start walking up the street, and there aren't a whole lot of individual cars out here. But you do spot one in particular hanging outside a fairly well-to-do little townhouse.
Okay. I don't know.
And you're going to approach the door and see if it's him.
Yeah, I'll approach the door and knock and see if anyone answers.
Uh, you do get a little bit of an answer as Nicholas East comes to the door. The lion sort of like shakes his mane a little bit, flattens it down from its frizziness, and kind of stares at you. It's like, you're one of my students, aren't you?
I am. I'm sorry to disturb you at your home, Mr. East. I looked for you in your office and you weren't there. There was a brief matter I wanted to discuss with you. Just something I heard that's sort of a bit of a personal curiosity of mine, and I was wondering if you might have time to speak with me just briefly.
I'm almost surprised you didn't say you were coming here for homework help. Well, come on inside then.
All right.
And he'll lead you inside, and just on the side is his little parlor. And
Mm-hmm.
he'll show you to like an armchair.
Mm-hmm.
So
All
what can I
right.
do for you?
Well, it's like I'll get straight to the point here. I'm studying psychology, and I realize that it's not an official scientific field, but I've developed a bit of an interest in parapsychology as well, and just I've just heard some interesting rumors about an odd fungus that blooms with orange flowers in the city that might have odd, like, mind altering effects on people forgetting things, seeing things. And I heard through the grapevine that you were actually looking into this matter yourself, and I was wondering if you could offer me any insight on this.
You can see him tense up a little bit as he sort of like
Yeah.
leans back up against like a table on the side. It's like, who grapevine? Who told you about this?
I
Who are you
happen to
talking to?
be acquaintances with Miss Claudia Greathouse.
Miss Claudia Greathouse. Fox? Bit of an attitude?
Oh yes, it's
Sure,
very,
drop
very,
it
very
anytime.
wealthy lady, very well to do.
I see. So you must be one of James' friends too, then. Hmm.
I've met James. I can't say we know each other on a personal basis.
Well, I suppose you're involved with this, he says, gesticulating a little bit with a free hand.
It depends on what you mean by this.
Well, I mean about what we found. What does she tell you?
Not much aside from the fact that she's researching something that might be slightly outside of what most people would consider ordinary.
I see. And you do realize I'm a biologist, not a psychologist or parapsychologist.
Oh no, I realize that, sir, but considering the fact that this substance is plant-based, I would consider your knowledge to be very helpful.
Hmm. I suppose you were part of James' circle and his strange little outings. I suppose it doesn't hurt to tell you the same thing that I told him. I do have one more question. You aren't a part of any fraternities, are you?
No, sir. I just live in the standard dorms.
Good. All right. And you can see him relax a little bit, and you can hear like a soft tink of metal as he walks away from the table and takes a seat in the armchair. Well, as I told James before, he we went out into the woods and we found a strange little bit of a mushroom that, when condensed, creates a bit of an orange fluid. It seems to have
Zach's
some very
eyes will
interesting
kind of
properties.
light up at the mention of orange fluid. That's definitely something he remembers from his dreams.
I haven't been really be able to pin down its properties or what it could possibly be used for, but it does seem very intriguing to me. It has a very
And
interesting effect on inanimate flesh, as far
w-
as I've tested so far.
what sort of effects?
Could you
Very
word
sim-
sorry? Could you word that creepier?
It's like
Nicholas East will break the fourth wall and go, "Yes, I can."
Inanimate flesh.
Yes. Wait, no, I lost my train of thought now. What were you asking there? Oh, interesting effects.
Yes.
The same, similar to electrical stimulation. It appears to be a storehouse of energy.
That's interesting. I mean, plants do store energy, but typically not in such amounts that they would affect inanimate flesh.
Correct. I see you've been paying attention to 101 a little bit, haven't you?
Well, I'm trying to stay well-rounded in all of my courses. I'd like to keep my options open.
So, why exactly has this come to your attention? What are you interested in here? What are you looking to know?
Zach is sort of going to bite his lip, and he's looking a little bit unsure. He's not 100% sure if he wants to share this information or not. Hmm.
Well, come on, spit it out. He just sort of leans in at you a little bit aggressively. I don't have all
My
evening.
It's like, I'm sure you've heard about the tragedy that occurred in my family several years ago. The death of my older brother Jasper.
Jasper. I'm afraid the name doesn't ring a bell.
He was a student at the university.
Well, there
Bit
are
of an
lots of
odd.
students.
It's like he was a bit of an oddball. Uh, was very interested in the occult and parapsychology, and there was a fire at our house a number of years ago. He perished in the fire. The police department wasn't able to identify the cause of the fire, but I suspect foul play might have been involved, and I've been investigating leads that might give me clues as to what actually happened. And I have an inkling that this odd fungus might be involved as well.
He sort of sits back and strokes his chin a little bit. Why do you think these are connected? Why do you suspect there's foul play? Why would anyone bother with someone studying something as ridiculous as parapsychology?
Zek kind of gives a wry grin and he's like, I could tell you, but I don't think you would believe me.
Well, you've come all this way, and if it's going to be to waste my time...
I've seen it in dreams.
Ah, there it is, the wasting my time.
It's like,
Dreams.
he's sort of tapping his chin, and I don't know. He looks like he's considering something. If you want more concrete proof of some of the things I've seen, I could try and show you.
What do you mean? Show me what? You've seen this orange substance before?
Um, actually, yes, I have. He has seen it. He saw it in those barrels
What?
at the factory.
And he seems very startled. Where? How? How much? What were they doing with it? Tell me. What's going
There,
on?
there were some very shady characters. They seem to be gathering it up in barrels near one of the factories.
What? Where? You have to show me.
Right
Here, we'll take
now?
my card. Yes, and he literally reaches down, puts his arm underneath yours, and is dragging you out the house so quickly he does not lock the door behind him.
Well, I guess I have no choice but to go with him.
All right. He will follow your instructions out to the what was it
The-
called? Yes, the Wallace Family Brewery.
Yeah, the
And
ruins.
he will look at the broken building and just kind of shake his head a little bit. In this trash heap?
Yes, I was around the back. There was a reporter too. I think he might have gotten some pictures, but I haven't been able to contact him recently. I guess he's busy writing his
no.
article.
I'll have to do my research even faster now if people are going to know about it. Oh, go on, show me where.
He'll lead him around to the back, around the area where the truck was parked and where the barrels were placed. I'm not sure if there's any traces left over from what they saw the other day.
You take a look around and show him where that pipe was. And it appears to have run dry. There is no longer a trickle of orange fluid from this. Instead, there's just an orange stain left on the ground.
Well, it was coming out of here. It looks like it stopped. There's a little bit of residue though.
Indeed. And Nicholas will pull out a small spade and dig up a bit of the ground. And as he does so, you can see a little bit of the orange fluid trickle down from around it. Yes. So it's soaked into porous material here. So where does this pipe lead then?
Your guess is as good as mine.
He'll pull out a flashlight from his jacket and actually shine it down into the pipe. And towards the back, you can actually see very clearly that there's a bit of rubble there. It looks like when the building on top collapsed, so did the area underneath.
Makes sense.
Hmm. So it was from around here. So was this factory making it? No, that
Was
can't
it?
possibly be. Nobody's harvesting those things on this scale, are they? For
I don't
factory?
know. Like I said, there were some fairly shady characters lugging a barrel of it around. We followed them a good way. They parked outside of the Walls Glasgow. I'm not sure what they were doing there. We didn't go inside. We didn't follow them inside.
It's very strange.
My thoughts
So,
exactly. You still think there wasn't foul play involved?
well, unless your brother was onto the same research I am right now, I still don't see a correlation between that. I'm sure tragic as your brother's death is.